What's going on? What's the word? It's a Bantu awakening, heard all over the world. What's going on?
Kembo, Natata Nzambi Yamazulu, Kifumu Kyakukisa. Our Kimbo belongs to Tata Nzambi, Mama Ndombe. Hallelujah. Welcome, Bana Nzambi. Facebook, YouTube, welcome. And I'd like to acknowledge and welcome everyone here on Zoom, the community. Welcome, community. Always.
Hallelujah.
Yes, hallelujah. It's always good to see each and every one of you. I love you all greatly. I will first ask everyone to just keep Mama Brenda lifted up before Tata Nzambi. She's going to be resting, so once she get herself together, she will be back, so just keep her lifted up. We have a very interesting subject that we will be discussing, a couple subjects actually. And we have our wonderful elder with us, Elder Jabulani, who will be bringing this discussion forth. We're going to be talking about the fallen angels, as well as the true Sabbath or Samba, the true Samba day. And welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We're always honored and glad to have you. So we are going to discuss about the fallen angels. And I know that the book of Enoch, speaks a lot about the fallen. In the Bible, it mentions how they looked upon the daughters of man and they came and laid with the daughters of man and produced giants. But in the book of Enoch, it goes a little bit more in depth. So however you want to start that, wherever you want to start is fine. Can you enlighten us a little more on that?
Okay. Okay. So we said we will have two topics today. Is that one of the book of the fallen angels as well as the 364? To give you a background on how I came about to conclude that that Sunday is actually the actual Sabbath, and I was using the moon. It's the moon phases that I managed to get through to that. It was during the lockdown where all these revelations started to come, and then calculations that needed to be done. So let me start with that one, because I believe the issue of a Sabbath is very critical. They would not have changed the calendar if it was not critical. You saw with the presentation of the cases, if you work with the elements, if you work with your powers, when you want to go for a big mission, for example, and you say, my mother must be close to me to hear me what I request of her. So because the moon represents our mother, remember that our ancestors did not worship the sun, but the sun, for example, is the representative of the masculine energy of the creator. And the moon is the representative of the feminine energy of the creator. And it is through the moon that these reptiles that have taken over the world have been exposed, because one thing they could not forge is the days of the moon, because the days of the moon are 364, But what they managed to play around with was the days of the sun. And what they did is to start the calibration of a day at midnight and ending it at midnight, and we're not paying attention. So now I would share my screen. It doesn't affect anything, isn't it? I don't have to be there so that I don't cut you off like I did last time.
I'm gonna give it to you, and I'm gonna set it up so it won't do that. All right. Okay. So you should be able to share your screen.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. And this is very interesting, because he said that the sun, is the masculine and the moon is the feminine. So, and it is the moon that we follow. All right.
Okay, what is visible that side?
Yes, sir. I see it. Everyone see it correctly?
Okay. So this comes from, like I shared, the three fundamentals of the new Noah's Ark, where one of the fundamentals is that we need to restore all covenants. And the first one was the Sabbath rest. The criticality of us resting is because most of the information of what we used to know and what we can know about our mother and father, the creator, is hidden within our DNA. And for us to be able to tap into all that information, we need low vibrations. So if we're always on the high speed, everything is noisy and things like that, we are unable to connect with our mother and father and to get the downloads from our creator. So I will go straight to the 364. Say the first thing, because what they do is the rulers of this world is the definition. If you can, we operate with correct definitions, we will be able to catch them. The first thing I said, we must define a day, saying it's a sunrise plus the sun moving for 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds just before the next sunrise. And we're going to use the critical year 2019, where most of the people started awakening, including myself. Say 1st of January, at sunrise, at midnight, at sunrise, that particular day, and then you go to midnight, you ask yourself how many sunrises you have. The answer will be only one. And how many days do you have? It's 0. The reason is that there's an additional 6 that the sun has not run. If you go to the 2nd of January, at midnight, you ask yourself, how many sunrises do you have since we started the calibration? It will be 2. Then how many days? The days will be 1. It's the day of the 1st of January, because that one managed to go the full 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. But the sunrise of the 2nd, it has not yet moved. And the same analysis can be done for the 3rd, going to the 18th at midnight. Number of sunrises, 18. Number of days, 17. Because this is mathematical, if someone has somewhere that you don't understand, it's better that you can stop me so that you can flow with us. I don't know, is everybody flowing with me here?
Yes.
Yes.
Not totally.
Not totally. Okay, there's another second example that I will be doing that that also proves that the year is 364. So for those who might miss this one that I will do, I will also request you that in the second one, there's another way that I can prove that the year is 364. But I'll try to be slow and try to explain. Okay, on the 31st of December, using the analysis that we started with on the 1st of January, if you go to midnight on the 31st of December, the number of sunrises that you have since we started the calibration on the 1st of January 2019, the number of sunrises will be 365, but the number of days will be 364, because this sun of the 31st of December has not yet moved for the additional 6 hours. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then when we go to the next year now, on the 1st of January 2020, and we go to midnight, you will now have 366 sunrises, and your days will be 365. So the 365 only appears the following day. That's when what the rulers of this world, they say there is something called the stellar year, where they claim in a stellar year, one of the days in a stellar year, the earth rotates without any sunrise and sunset, which, if you believe that, it means like this, you are challenged. I can just put it like that, because the earth is not spinning, we know, but that's what the rulers of this world, if you can Google stellar year, they will tell you what is a stellar year, which is a false thing. But then I would like to elaborate further with this here. I say on the picture that I've showed you, the 31st of December, because now I believe I've proven that the 31st of December is a fake day. But on the picture that I have showed you, the 31st of December is actually 30 December, which is ended 6 hours before the next sunrise. This implies the days are 360, 375 with 364 sunrises. The sunrise that we see of the 31st of December, the one that we saw, in a tropical year, in other words, the years that are used for determining the seasons, that particular sunrise is the sunrise of the first day of a new year, which tells you 1 January and 31 December is the same day, as you saw there. You have 0 or 365, because you remember mathematics, you can start back again. Since we were at 366 on the 1st of January 2020, you can start from scratch and say 1, and then the day will start back from 0. But now, if we use actual digits, is actually you've got 0.75 days. Remember, we start at sunrise until midnight. You only have 0.75 days, because you still have an additional 6 hours that the sun needs to move. So for the first day, it will be 0.75, and for the last day, it will be 364.75, meaning it's short of 6 hours. With what? With 1 sunrise or 365 sunrises in the tropical year when we use midnight, meaning these are the exact numbers. So which shows you one of these days is not true. One of these days is fake, and that fake day is the last one, which is the 31st of December. Therefore, from 45 BCs, the years were shortened by 6 hours, and it was prophesied in Enoch 80 verse 2. In Enoch 80 verse 2, Enoch prophesied that in the days of the sinners, the years will be shortened. So when you shorten the year, it means every 4 years, you have to add an extra day, which is the leap day. And when you do that, when you add the extra day, which on the 4th day, it will be 364.75. If you add everything and you divide by 4, you get exactly what Enoch has said, that the year is actually 364 from the day creation was done unto eternity. The thing that we did not see this is because we were not paying attention. What they did is they did their calibration at midnight. And what happens as well is that their start of their calibration, they started it at sunrise and ended it at midnight, making the year to be short of 6 hours. That's the 666. Because First year, they take 6 hours. Second year is another 6 hours, is 12. Third year is another 6 hours, is 18. Then on the fourth year, if they don't add a day, the seasons are going to change. That's why they add that extra day so that the seasons are not disturbed. So, but when they come back to you, they say the year is 365. We only have a leap year, while actually we are running with 364, with 364 with 6 hours less. This is the first part that can prove to you that is 364. The queen that did not understand at the beginning, with this explanation, have you gotten some understanding, or you still a bit lost? There was a queen saying that she was not following.
Queen Brenda.
Queen Brenda, yeah.
Yes.
Are you
okay?
I kind of get it, but I kind of get it. It's just so new to me. So
I understand. Yeah, I understand. And it's true, it's mathematical as well, but I understand for me to crack this, it took me about almost a year just to work around what they were doing. How did they do it? Because when the revelation that the book of Enoch contains most of the truth, and when I find that Enoch is saying the year is 364, and exactly like that, and Enoch is telling you that the year is, the earth is stationary, it's the sun that is moving, I say they cannot lie about another thing and leave out the other. So I had to work on this thing. I would understand if you won't get it quickly, but on the next one is also a further proof that the year is 364. What we can do on the next one? Can you engage in calculating as I recommend here? You see what you see there at the bottom of this presentation is what they give you as equinoxes and solstices on the year. So what you need to do, you need to define correctly what is an equinox. Is anyone who can tell me what is an equinox?
a season?
Is that where the days are equally as long as the night?
Correct. That's what is an equinox. An equinox is a day. It happens twice in a year. It happens in spring and it happens in autumn. You have a day where the sunlight and the night are equal. So that's the definition of an equinox. But what these demons that are ruling the world, they've defined an equinox as a time in which the sun crosses the equator. Meaning, at that particular, like there at 2015, they will say the equinox, let's use March. Equinox happened at 22 hours, 45 minutes, which is a lie. An equinox is the entire day. It's not a particular time in a day. Are we together? Does everyone understand what Nkosi Kangi is saying? What is an equinox?
Yes.
Yes, that's what is an equinox. If now you've gotten your definition of an equinox correctly, can you please tell me, in a year where there is not a leap year, if you count, because they say the equinox there, we're using March on the first one, March 20. You know that they say March 20, that's where the equinox is. So now, if you go to that day, you calculate from the 21st of March. Can you please do your own calculation and tell me how many days do you find before the declaration of the next equinox? It will be like school today.
Yeah. I don't have my calculator. Oh. But it will probably be 6 months.
No, until the declaration of on the next spring equinox, means what, from the summer, the autumn equinox to autumn equinox, not the 6 months one. I want remember the year we take it from September to September, for example, in Southern Hemisphere, but in the Northern is March to March. I'm talking about March to March.
Okay.
Yeah. The answer is here. No matter what you do, you will never get day number 365. If you correctly define what is an equinox and you calculate from 21st of March, the next equinox will be declared on the 20th of March. And when you check how many days between them, it's 364.
Oh, okay.
You will never get date number 365. So in other words, in this particular one where they are showing this table, the 20th of March is equivalent to the 31st of December, meaning this is a fake day. They run it side by side with 21st of March. Like in the previous example, I told you that 1 January and 31st of December. Remember, the 1 January and 31st is the calendar one. This one is what they use for tropical. So in other words, in this one, the 20th of March is run side by side with the 21st of March, meaning 20 March is a fake day. It's just like the 31st of December when you are using calendar days. Yeah. So this one, all that you have to do, define correctly an equinox. An equinox is the entire day. Once you do the entire day and you calculate how many days you have, you will never get day number 365.
Wow.
Yeah, but Queen Brenda, on this one, are you getting there?
Well, I'm getting there because you said it, but I didn't have a calendar available to count. So it makes sense.
The thing is, the Mundeles, what they did with this midnight, starting things at midnight, they made us to not to be able to see certain things. They were able to trick us. But when we become now coming back to our senses, coming back to our mind, and we start to be slow in getting things and get deeper. Remember, this thing, it's not an easy thing. That's why they managed to run with this from 1400 BC. They first changed the year to be 365. 1400 BC in Kemet, they changed it. Then in 45 BC, when the Romans were taking over, they changed the year again to 365 and a quarter. So it's not an easy thing, but I believe like as you engaged with this message, because you will share this, Nzambi Zola, that people should just get with, follow this, do your calculation, and also even the Excel that I've used, I will share it with anyone who wants it, so that you can just flow with it. And another thing, my advantage as well, I'm from mathematical background. So, so, you know, sometimes we as people, you find that another person is more inclined to words, another one is inclined to numbers. For me, I'm more of a numbers person. So like this, I do cache them there because I use Excel as well to calculate all these things. Okay, on this one, I hope at some point as you re-watch this video and you do your own calculation, you will eventually get it, that the year has never been 365. It has always been 364, and they were running it short by 6 hours. That's why they had this a leap year every 4 years. Yes, I see a hand there, Nkosi Kangi.
Yes, Elder. So the Mundele have led us to believe that the day starts at sundown. So actually it starts at sunrise. Is that correct?
It started sunrise. I can show you that a Book of Enoch as well. You can see a Book of Enoch 70. Let me check here. It's 72:8. If you can read here, Enoch 72:8. is talking about how we get our months. It says, when the sun rises in the east in the sky, it goes out through this fourth gate and 30 mornings and descend faithfully through the fourth gate in the western sky. So that is the beginning where Enoch was starting to teach us about the years. It says 30 mornings, children of the light, they start their day at sunrise, never at sunset.
Mm.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
can I have a question, a statement question sort of a situation here, because when I left the regular church and I transitioned over to Hebrew Israelite way of thinking and learning, one thing that was explained concerning the days, especially the times that mark when the day begins and when the day ends, is based on January. I mean, so in Genesis, where they say when the Most High was creating, he said at every point, he said, and the evening and the morning
Mhm.
was the first day. So by him saying the evening,
That's the beginning.
constitutes that, so that at that point the sun has set, therefore the next day has begun in that evening period and will go until the same point of the following day. So that's how they justified that particular time marker. So
Yes.
when you say that, really the book of Enoch is saying that when the sun rises
That's the
that's
beginning.
when the day begins, then that really adds it just, and gosh, it just annoys me how these people just be twisting things around, because that Bible has been like my go-to.
Yeah,
I've lived that Bible and depended on that Bible for its as a very veritable source, of the Most High. And so now that all of these things are coming up, it really begins to, you just need to punch someone. Seriously, just I'll end right there. Thank you.
No, many of us we were in this frustration and thinking, how could we miss it? Sometimes we even blame ourselves. How did I not see that this is wrong? The main thing that I beat myself with was this drinking of blood and eating flesh. But how could I not see that this is demonic? Okay, so you can see here,
Yes.
you can read it yourself where Enoch is explaining the years, that the sun, when it rises, in isiZulu, when the sun sets, we say the sun is dying. Sithi ilanga liyashona, the sun is dying. So children of the light, we don't start anything with death. We start it with light. And remember, if you reckon as a day from sunrise, in other words, you start the day with light and you end it with light. Currently, you start the day with darkness and you end it with darkness.
Wow.
Sure do.
That is a powerful concept, Elder. That's a very powerful concept. And I'm glad that you shared that, because we are children of the light. So why would we start our day in the dead of night when the sun is going down? That makes a whole lot of sense.
Wow.
My goodness. And when you had showed the chart of the sun, can you go back to that? I think it was maybe three slides back.
Okay.
Counting this one. It's number 7. Yes, that one.
Okay.
And where it says January 1st.
Yeah. Right there.
Right there. Yes. January 1st, 2019. And you had the number of sunrises 1, but number of days 0. This is the start of the beginning, if I can say this, of days. So when you get ready to start the day, you don't actually count the beginning. You have to count the actual day, which is
Yes,
the 23, 59, 59. So
correct.
as you're showing going from January 1st to January 2nd, that will be your complete day, which is why you have day number 1 at the bottom. That is your day. But the sunrise is the number 2.
Yes.
You know, so and I brought that forth because when you had asked did anyone did they understand it, and Queen Brenda said not yet, I just wanted to kind of bring that out to make it a little more clear, you know. So you count the sunrise is there, but not the day, because 23, 59, 59 or 24 hours is not complete until the next day.
Yeah.
Correct.
So but this is, wow, very, very interesting. And we know that the verses in the Bible says that they will think to change times and laws.
And laws, yes. They actually they've changed it. It's not necessarily
Yes.
they think they've changed it. The thing that they did not change is the seasons.
Mhm.
They've changed the times, but the seasons, they made the seasons to flow properly. That's why they had to add leap years.
Yes. And they have us following the sun. Where
That's
we
why they
see,
worship the sun per se.
yes.
That's why they worship the sun, because by labeling each and every sunrise, it gives you a fake day. You can't label a sunrise as a day. You need to label the sunrise plus the sun moving. Then that becomes a day. So for them to be able to trick us, each and every sunrise has a date. And that's what is incorrect.
Wow.
And then to confuse us even more, they said that the sun was spinning. I mean, the earth was rotating.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Because even with the rotation of the earth, the representative, remember that the mother, the feminine energy of the creator is represented by the water, the moon, as well as the earth. It is the water itself that can prove to you that the earth is not spinning, because the water always goes for level. So that's why they always cut the woman. When you cut the woman, things fall apart. They remove the woman. So water will give you answer that the earth is stationary. Even if they show you on their videos where they are showing the ocean from a long distance, you will see it's straight all the time.
So the earth is flat?
Yes, I can show you in the book of Enoch as well, where Enoch is telling you that the earth is flat. Let me just show it to you.
And Queen Adija, you had your hand raised also.
Yes. So while Elder Jabulani is looking for that, I just wanted to ask, because even with all of this changing of times, because it does indicate that Constantine is the one who actually was successful in making it is initiating this whole thing. So with them having these fake days, is that why we here over in the Northern Hemisphere have to deal with this fall back and spring forward business?
No, it's not. It's not related. It's not related. The clock itself is not wrong. It's just that the start of the calibration, they started at sunrise and ended at midnight, making a year to be short of 6 hours. So, but the clock itself, I think it has to do with sunlight, when they are changing it. Because in other countries like South Africa, we don't do that, where we add maybe in 1 hour and then take it back, maybe when we go to winter, things like that. No, it's not related to it.
So then it's expected that there should be a fall back and a spring forward period. Is that what you're saying? Because I'm
Not that
thinking that
it should be expected. I think for them, it's about the sunlight, saying that if you want
Yeah.
to make your days
Yeah.
for business
Longer.
purposes,
Yes.
for business purposes, they say, let's say we say we're starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, all of us, but you find that in other area, 6 o'clock is very dark. So you rather push it forward so that 6 o'clock becomes around the time where it is light.
Mhm.
okay,
It's mainly for business. It's mainly
Yes.
for business
Yeah.
purposes rather than this one.
okay. Thank you for clearing that one up.
And at one
Okay.
point, they never touched the time. You know,
No, the
they
time
never
they didn't
moved it.
touch.
And then they decided to move it. So now they're talking about going back to not touching it. And I think it's this year that we're not supposed to fall back.
Oh,
So
I
we're
thought
going to
that
spring forward.
I
Yes.
thought they were gonna go that hour ahead and let it stay there.
Well, we're basically in that that. Let me stop. Uh, maybe when springtime, rolls around and they say spring ahead.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I thought
that
they were gonna do.
and
But
you may be
I hope they
accurate.
don't. Hope they don't.
Yeah, but
Because I always feel off.
right, and it threw a lot of us off.
Mm.
So but if they don't or do, move it, they're not supposed to move it anymore.
Effective this year, 2023.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's almost like they're trying to correct their mistakes. They should have never touched it to begin with.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Because it's not their business.
So what is the original time? Is
The
it fall
original
or-
time is 18. We operate with 18. You know that 18 it's one of the powerful numbers, and if you divide 18 is 9. 9 is also one of the most powerful numbers for us in Africa. So 18 is how we reckon a time. So Enoch is telling you how that a day becomes fully a day after 18 parts. So in other words, when we restore things, we will not have a 24-hour watch. We're going to have an 18-hour watch, and it will help you with that 18-hour watch because it will also show you when the equinox is, when the solstice is.
Okay, so then would that mean, so let's say we don't do the spring forward business, that would keep us in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere with a 6-hour gap, correct?
Oh my.
Okay, remember in some countries like South Africa where we don't have this move taking away hour and adding. In other words, when you are adding an hour, we are going to be 7 hours in difference with you, and when you are taking back the hour, going to be 6. So basically, it will not affect anything per se. It will not affect anything because it's done for the people who are on the same. They call it, I think, it's the Greenwich Meridian. The people who are doing business,
Yes.
who are awoke at that particular time. Like, for example, you in Canada, maybe as the seasons are changing, you find that in Canada, 6 o'clock becomes very dark. But Canada is doing business with you in America, where you are sharing maybe the same time. Then we say, okay, let's agree that every change of this particular season, we add an hour so that at least 6 o'clock in Canada, it's light as well as it's light in America. So that one, I only understand it on the business one. It's not so much attached with this one, and it doesn't affect it per se.
And I think to also answer your question too, Queen Khadija, it would put that 6-hour gap between us and Africa. Is that what you were asking?
That's pretty much what I'm saying, because right now I know we're 6 hours apart. So if we don't change, we should remain 6 hours apart.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. There was a question about the flat earth. Enoch 53, verse 7, it says, that is after the judgment of the evil ones. It says, these mountains shall become flat like earth in the presence of his righteousness, and the hills shall become like fountain of water. You see, flat like earth. When you want to get the version of Book of Enoch, you must always download the one that says with a restored name. It's using the word Yahweh. It says Yahweh of host. So if you want to get the much more accurate one, always download the one that says with a restored name, where it uses Yahweh. You will read it there. Enoch 53, flat like earth. The earth is flat. It's the sun that moves. It's the sun that moves during what you call this, where the moon is covering the sun. They call it what, the eclipse.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can clearly see that the moon and the sun are equal. They are equal.
They cross each other
Yeah,
the
and
same
the moon
time.
covers the sun exactly.
They're the same
Exactly.
side, right?
It's the same size, yeah. So you just see a little like, especially the countries that are seeing the full eclipse, you will see the moon and the sun are exactly equal. But the Munderas, they will say it's your eye, because
I
the
see.
sun is far away and the moon, it looks as if it's equal.
These liars.
I tell you, oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Okay, on this topic, I am done. This topic is not an easy one. I think what you need to do is to work together with also Excel and check your calculations if you are your person who loves numbers.
No.
Yeah, but I think even the second one, where we correctly define equinox, that one should give you, because that one you will able to calculate from the 21st before the next declaration of equinox. It will give you the correct answer. Nkosi Kange?
Elder, so just to kind of clarify what you said in relation to the moon and the sun, you said they're equal distance. Is that correct? Or
No, equal in size. The moon is just below the sun. In other words,
wow.
yeah. It's equal size. So what happens is the sun is above the moon when there's you have you are about to start the new moon. So as the moon descends, part of the light of the sun goes to the moon. And as the moon descends even further, more energy from the sun is reflected from the moon. And as the moon descends, more of the energy of the sun goes until the moon is at its lowest. In other words, the moon is closest to the earth. That's when the moon receives the full sunshine. I mean, the full light from the sun. And remember, if the earth was round, how was the moon, the moon going to receive its light from the sun? It was not going to be able to get it. They must be at the same, almost the same plane, but the sun is just a little bit higher than the moon. And as you move away from the full moon, you are going back to where you start not to see the moon. In other words, the moon is ascending. When the moon is ascending, it's losing its light. And when the moon is at its highest position, it doesn't receive any light from the sun.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any further question on this one, or should we go to the next topic?
Seems like we're pretty good on this one.
Yeah.
I have one quick question. So when they say that the moon goes through portals, is that accurate?
Yes, it's accurate. There are 6 gates, but remember, it's not necessarily that physically, but there are 6 gates from where the sun rises from and from where the sun sets in. There is 6 gates in the east and 6 gates in the west. So when the year starts, with us in the Southern Hemisphere, where Jerusalem is, we start from the fourth gate. That's where the start of a year is, which is September. 26th of September is our first day of a year. It runs from that fourth gate for 30 mornings. Then it moves to the fifth gate for another 30 mornings. Then it will move to the sixth gate for 31 mornings. The 31 is for the change of season. That 31 is for the change of season, where the sun is now coming back. Now it will come back to what? To the sixth gate for 30 mornings. Then it will go back to the fifth gate for 30 mornings. Then it will go to the fourth gate for 30 mornings. Then it now moves towards the northern hemisphere, which is the third gate for 30 mornings. Actually, every three months, you've got the extra day for the change of season. The equinox, the spring, you've got the summer, you've got the winter. So you've got this change of extra day where the season is changing.
Wow.
It makes sense, but I would never be able to explain it to anyone.
This
play
is gonna
this video.
This is gonna have to be a teaching, within itself, just to break it all down. This is wow.
Yeah, we will elaborate, we will get deeper into Enoch, even the new maps that have come, the map of the flat earth, if you follow Enoch 22 and all the up to, I think, 32, you will see that map is accurate according to those scriptures, but it needs more time, just to go in slowly, get to the scripture, check the map. You will see it answers everything that is in the scripture. It correlates with that flat earth map that has been revealed, because this is the day of they call it aquarium, where many things are being revealed.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Matondo for that.
Yes.
Okay, my pleasure. Okay, we're going to the next topic. The next topic is about the fallen angels. As the people who were involved in the cases, you must understand that the fallen angels were chosen. The shepherds were chosen. The blind sheep were chosen. This is the three heads of Satan. All of them were chosen. What determines whether you enter the kingdom of Salama or not is whether do you choose your mother and father? Because our mother and father is Mahat. Do you choose the laws of the creator of spirits? So sometimes I can hear in the awakening some people say, how are they chosen? Yes, we are the chosen, but are we choosing our mother and father as well? That's what is critical. So this presentation is just to show you that there were fallen angels, but these fallen angels, initially, they were chosen. They were children of the Most High. They were working for the Most High, but they decided to go against what the Most High wants. Okay, is it, let me see, Enoch 39, verse 1 to 2.
Will we finish this? I'm sorry, Elder. Will we finish with this particular screen here?
Which one? Are you seeing Enoch there?
No, sir.
No.
Oh, is it?
No. You had to stop sharing and then share again on Enoch.
Oh, is it? I was moving around the screens without it. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm talking, I think you were saying one thing all along.
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, we can see it now.
Also, you never saw the book of Enoch when I was in the book of
No.
I thought you were just reading it to us. So.
Okay, first of all, because you know we're from Christianity, so we need to see things in.
Yeah, they always say,
Okay.
show it to me. And yes.
Yeah, show it to me in scripture. Yeah,
In the
unless it's
word.
written in the word. Okay. Sorry for moving like this because I'm working in darkness, so I just have to do the manual work.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. The first one that I shared with you was 72:8.
Mhm.
You see 72:8. It
Yes.
says, when the sun rises in the east in the sky, it goes through the fourth gate 30 mornings and descends faithfully through the fourth gate in the west. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Also, even the flat earth, you are not seeing it. You are not crying.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
awesome.
it's 53.
Mhm.
It's 53 verse 7. And these mountains shall become flat like earth in the presence of his righteousness, and the hills shall become like a fountain of water.
Mhm.
Okay, this is where I ended on that previous topic that we were talking about. So
Yes.
now, yeah, now I will go first of all to Enoch 39, verse 1.
Okay.
Here it is. It says, it shall come to pass in those days that the children of, how do I make sure that, because this thing is cutting me here. It shall come to pass in those days that the children of the elect, you see, when it says elect, it means the chosen. So they were chosen and they were Kodesh one. Kodesh means they are holy, will descend from the high heaven, and their seed shall become one with the children of the people. And in those days, Enoch received books of zeal and wrath and of haste and whirlwind. The sovereign ruler of spirit says, there shall be no mercy upon them. The reason that there's no mercy on a person that is doing this is because they know what they were doing. They chose what they were doing.
Chose.
They even bound themselves by an oath that we will do this evil thing. We need to bind ourselves by an oath. So that's why there's no mercy upon them. Remember, the Most High, we have done wrong things ourselves. We were doing all wicked things, eating flesh, drinking blood, and things like that. But because we're doing it blindly, there is mercy upon us. Even our ancestors who has passed on, who were in Christianity, who were in Islam, they did things blindly. There is mercy upon them. But someone who does wickedness with open eyes, there is no mercy upon them.
Oh, okay. Now that answers a lot of questions.
Yeah, because like the Most High is forgiving, but is forgiving you by a particular name. What name is it? Mercy. He has mercy on us. Even now, when people are receiving the message and rejecting it, he activates another name, which is long suffering. He waits for us until we get the message because we're deceived. We honestly think we're doing the right thing, while actually Satan has deceived us, has changed our scrolls. So that's why there will always be mercy on somebody who's blind, who's doing things blindly. But someone whose eyes are open, there's no mercy because you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next one is the one saying that if the angels unite themselves with the daughters of men, a new species get to be created. Do you understand? And that new species, according to the Most High, he says, but now the giants who are born from the union of the spirit and the flesh shall be called evil spirits. So because now you've got another species, it's like mixing a lion with a tiger. The thing that is produced is something else. So this thing that was done by the angels is a very evil thing. It angered the Most High. Even now, currently, they are mixing different animals. That like it's creating other species. In South Africa, there was a cry when these dogs called the pit bulls. These pit bulls were killing people, were killing children. It just became a trend that was going up and said, but these dogs must be banned. And some people were crying, saying, no, don't ban these dogs. But these pit bulls, it's a mixture. So it was created especially for fighting. You know, these people who like to see blood.
Yes.
Pit bulls were created in the UK, and they created them for fighting, mixing different seeds. So here you can see that when the angel united, what is created becomes something else, and says these evil spirits have come out of their body because from the day they were created from the Kodesh one, they became washers. Their first area is heaven. They shall become evil upon the earth, and they shall be called evil spirit. You know what? When you check what has happened to us, when you check what happened to us in Babylon, it was done by the children of Edom who were mixing with these angels. They were mixing with them, and then they came and they were fighting us, and then next thing we had to run. When we were in Egypt as well, those that have mixed with angels, they are the ones who came to Egypt. If you can Google for yourself the prophecy of Nefertiti of Egypt, you will hear that Nefertiti was an African woman, an Egyptian, who prophesied that these Asians that are invading Egypt, the time will come where they are going to be taken out, because those who were invading Egypt were not Bantus, they were not Africans. It was the mixture. It was the mixture of the angels and the union of the women. So they become evil. Even amongst now, as we talk, they like to fight. They are always on war. When we continue to in verse 15, verse 8, it says, the dwelling of the spirit belongs to heaven, but the dwelling of the spirit of the earth, which are born upon the earth, is the earth. These spirits of the giants oppress each other. They even oppress each other. They steal even from each other. They will be corrupt. They fall upon the earth. They cause sorrow. So we know all the sorrows that were caused to the Bantus. It comes from this union. And this union is because it was not supposed to happen. We were not supposed to have an angel sleeping with a human. The last one, just to show you that the angels, they used to have melanin when they were working for the Most High. I will show it to you. It's Enoch 68, verse 4. So this is when now the Most High was starting to move to judge the angels now. Angel Michael, if you can read here in 68, it says, you know, part of this scripture I can't see. Let me see where it is.
Do you want me to read it? Starting at...
Yeah, please, can you read it?
Yes, sir. You want me to start at verse 3 or 4?
Oh, verse 4.
Okay. Then it happened that when they stood before the creator of spirits, Micaiah said to Lephaiah this, they shall not prosper before the eye of Yahweh, for they have quarreled with the creator of spirits, because they are made in the image of Yahweh.
You see that?
Yes.
They were made instead of asking what is the importance of melanin, they go and they approach the creator of spirits with an attitude, because they were made in the image of Yahweh. So what happens? Yahweh stripped them of the melanin from their DNA. Only then did they know what is the value of melanin, when they were stripped of it. Why would you quarrel with your creator? You look like your creator, then you say, why didn't you make us maybe pink? Instead of asking, what is the value of melanin? So you see that the angels had melanin before. Even in the Bible, in Hebrews, it's written there, do not forsake to entertain strangers, because in so doing, you might be entertaining angels. Meaning the angels will just look like you and me. you won't even recognize that is an angel, because the Bible is the book of the melinated people. So this verse is proving to you that they disrespected the Most High. They disrespected melanin. Instead of asking what is the value of melanin, they just go and quarrel with the Most High.
Wow.
I will open discussion from here. That's where it's ending. But you must know that they were working for the Most High before. They were children. They were holy. They were Kodesh one. Then they decided they don't want to operate according to the laws of the Most High. That's why there's no mercy upon them. That's why they are shaking even now. They are shaking to their boots because they know the Most High has descended.
Mm. Mm.
Interesting. Well, then I have a question. So if them being stripped of their melanin will render them to be pale skin, then one would easily conclude that especially we know that when you have the Africans that are born without melanin,
Yes.
would they be seed to the fallen? I mean, because how does that play in? How do they,
Okay,
why are they coming out that without melanin?
okay, let me show it to you here.
Or are the albinos, more or less, to speak clear?
Yeah. In 106, in Enoch 106, you will catch it here that we are all of us, we come from an African with albinism who's called Noah. You will see it here. That's why this book, they hate it so much. NASA is established just to discredit this book, because this book contains everything. Nzambi Zola, can you please read from 1 up to 5?
Yes, sir.
Enoch 106.
Enoch 106, starting with verse 1. And after some days, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she became pregnant by him and bore him a son. And his body was white as snow and red as a rose, the hair of his head as white as wool, and his demeanor or dimdima, beautiful. And as for his eyes, when he opened them, the whole house glowed like the sun. Rather, the whole house glowed even more exceedingly. And when he arose from the hands of the midwife, he opened his mouth and spoke to Yahweh with righteousness. And his father Lamech was afraid of him and fled and went to Methuselah, his father. And he said to him, I have begotten a strange son. He is not like an ordinary human being, but he looks like the children of the Malakim of heaven to me. His form is different, and he is not like us. His eyes are like the rays of the sun, and his face aglow.
Wow. So you can see there, was it Brenda who was talking? Queen Brenda? Was it you?
It was Queen Adisha.
Adisha. Okay, yeah, you can see here, Noah, where we all come from, the Bantus come from, was the first African or first Bantu to be born without, in other words, with albinism. To be born with albinism on the surface is not a curse. Actually, we were supposed to look at you and look at them, those who are claiming to be the children of Japheth, and say, but why are they looking the same? So in other words, Noah has DNA melanin. So what is critical is the melanin must be in your DNA. So if you can produce a melinated child, there's no curse upon you. So there are certain pictures where a woman is and a man are both with albinism, but their children, all of them, have melanin. What is a curse is the melanin to be removed from your DNA. That's where the problem is.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So then to clarify, so in verse 2, it says, it makes reference to what's that word? Demdema means what?
Demdema, in other words, they were glorifying a big head. Demdema means a
Okay.
big head.
a big head.
Yeah, so in other words, during those times when you a man with a big head, you
His big head was beautiful.
yeah, it was beautiful. So
So it's really like you said, Elder. It's inside of you. So you can have a lack of melanin on the outside, but what's inside of your DNA is what determines you Bantu.
correct,
So,
correct. That
so does that where like these people that are getting their melanin washed away or lasered away,
Hmm.
they will be forgiven?
No.
I believe they will be forgiven. Remember, they created a culture where they said what is
We look,
cursed is blessed, what is blessed is
yes,
cursed. So for those people, they might have been weak in their in their resistance against what the culture was pushing. But I
yeah,
believe for such what they've done to lighten their skin, I believe there can be a forgiveness for them, because I believe it's not sin unto death. The
because
Most
they
High,
were brainwashed.
they were brainwashed, so they thought they were doing, they thought they are becoming beautiful because beauty was defined around with not having melanin. They were
Right.
not aware that they were actually having a blessing where those who are encouraging them to remove melanin, they actually desired it.
Hmm.
Okay, well then it sounds a lot like even though they'll be forgiven, the the consequence of their actions is what they will have to just contend with. For example, they may
Yeah.
get sunburned or some develop some type of skin ailment of sorts as
Skin
as a
cancers.
because of that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it will just be on them. Like a person who has done a tattoo, you can say, okay, tattoo, they've pierced their skin, but now as time goes, it gives them problem. But per se, if a person has done that during ignorance, so it's not sin unto death per se. It's just something that will irritate them at some point in life until you are renewed.
Okay, true. Thank you.
So in verse 3, it says, and when he arose from the hands of the midwife, he opened his mouth and spoke to Yahweh with righteousness.
Yes.
So he actually spoke.
According
Yeah.
to the scripture, because he was a unique child, there was something that was going to happen to the world. So his skin color was unique, and what happened during his birth was also unique. If you can read the entire up to the end, you can see they even go to Enoch, and Enoch explained that this is a special child. Through this child, kings and queens are going to be protected. It's where he's talking about that he will build the ark and save his family.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I can see now why the father would run, because when your baby opens his mouth and speaks legibly to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, whoa. And the verse before that, it said that when he opened, where's it at? About how the whole house glowed like the sun.
Yeah, that's verse 2.
That's light.
Yeah, verse 2. So he came out glowing and then spoke.
Yes. Yeah, if we take everything as it says, so it was a special, in other words, it was a miraculous child. Through him, something great was going to happen, and something big was happening, because the judgment of the angels happened during the time of Noah. And the saving of the human race was done through Noah.
Yes.
Usually when somebody very, very significant in the deliverance of the Bantus is born, there are certain things that happen, especially that includes, in most cases, it includes the celestial bodies. Like you'll find that the certain stars are aligning because maybe a king is low. Even currently now, if you can wake up in the morning, it's been a long time I woke up very, very early. There is this eastern star that is shining very bright.
Yes, I've seen it.
Because the king is here.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I seen it too.
And it didn't twinkle. It had a twinkle to it. So.
And you know,
So
I'm sorry. I wanted to say real quick. I think his name Noah means something about destruction and saving, if I'm not not mistaken. But it's something about saving a generation, or he shall save, something like that. But also, when you look at this scripture too, because our people, when we explain something, it is what do they call it? Concrete, I think it is. So in describing, when it said that the house glowed like the sun, remember his father said that he didn't look like them. He looked different. So by him being, it says that his body was white as snow. He was different. He was brighter than they. You know, it's like us looking at a light-skinned person. Yeah. And the other thing too, now this goes back to that DNA, that melanin DNA. In verse 3, it said he opened his mouth and spoke to Yahweh with righteousness. That is that DNA that is within him, that melanin speaking to the one that he created him.
Yeah.
Okay? Because now, let's just keep it real here. Those opposite of us, they can't speak in righteousness.
Just lies.
Okay. Oh my
Okay?
goodness, true. Yes. That's why they lie like they do then.
All right.
yes.
Yeah.
Now they
In their DNA.
when they talk about God, okay, and they talk about how good God is, you hear them. There, you might see some smiles or rejoicefulness, but when you hear someone with melanin speak about the Most High, you feel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there is that distinct difference, you know, between us. And that was really, I love the way you brought that through, Yahya, when you said that these fallen, and you showed they had melanin, because it said they were created in the image of the Father, Bana Nzambi. But when they fail,
They lost their melanin.
they lost their melanin. And then he showed that they produced not only giants, but evil spirits. And those evil spirits still exist today. And they have no melanin.
Just go to the grocery store.
Yeah. You and even now with our spirits becoming awakened, we can point them out when we see them walking around.
Yeah.
Thank you for breaking that down, because so it's the DNA melanin that causes them to just be just automatic liars. I mean, you just look at them, you know they're lying, and they're just lying, and as if it's true, you know?
Yeah,
So
I can say that. I think you caught it there, because melanin, in other words, it gives you spirituality. It makes you to take on the form of the creator of spirit. As you lose it, remember, melanin is directly proportional to the soul. It's almost like removing melanin is removing your soul. Most of the people, when they promise them to be billionaires in Hollywood, they say, sell me your soul, because that's what they are lacking. They lack soul. So soul is directly proportional to melanin. So if you sell the devil your soul, it's the same as if you are selling your melanin.
oh my goodness, okay.
Oh my.
Not that I can think of.
Wow.
Man,
That's deep.
that is.
Wow.
That is. I tell you, wow. He has really been dropping some bombs here.
Yes. Wow. Oh my.
Yeah,
My
on that
mom used,
topic, yes.
I was just going to comment that my mom used to make a comment back when we were all still in Christianity. She said, you know, even in the church, when black people are in church and we're thinking and praising and on the name of the Most High, just praising. But she said, but you know, I noticed if you go into a white church and you even mention the name of the Most High, they just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
They have no
They
emotion.
do.
They're just like,
Yeah.
True. And I've seen that too. Yes.
Yeah. It's saying like John Smith, you know, hey,
yeah, it's like
hallelujah, John Smith.
They perk up when you say Jesus. Jesus.
yeah, yes.
Wow. 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 Well, yeah, my goodness. That was wow. That was a serious meal.
Yes, yes, it was.
Yeah.
And now, Elder Jabulani, I have gone back and made a specific effort to start reading the book of Enoch all
Me
over
too.
again.
Me too.
So,
Right out.
Elder Jabulani, which version did you say to read? Which version of Enoch?
When you download it, you must say Book of Enoch with restored name.
With restored name.
Yeah, it uses the word Yahweh.
Okay.
WAHWEH. That's what they use. That version of Enoch, it's mostly. Remember, every book they tempered with, but that one, most of the things they are aligning. The spirit is confirming that most of the things are correct. Remember, the book of Enoch was hidden. Was hidden by Ethiopia, not the current Ethiopia. You must know that Ethiopia was in the center of Africa. It's not the current Ethiopia. The current Ethiopia is fake. It's not the true one. So it was. You can say it was hidden by Congolese, because where Congo is, that's where Katopia was.
They flipped it upside down.
Wow.
Yes, they did. They did a number. They did a number on us. Big
So
time.
Congo is Ethiopia. Well, what was known as
Yes,
Ethiopia?
Congo is Ethiopia, but to be even to push you even further, Sub-Saharan Africa is Upper Kemet. Upper Kemet. Sub-Saharan Africa is Upper Kemet. When you read Genesis 13 verse 1, it says Abraham took his wife and went up into the south. He was going to Upper Kemet. That's where Melchizedek was. Melchizedek is Toth or Jehudi or Hemis. So this thing, you must know that the Bible has been manufactured from the books of Kemet. So that's why they wanted us to make Egypt evil. Egypt was not all evil. Egypt is a reflection of heaven. But now they changed our mind, do you understand? To make everything about Egypt bad. Even Babylon. Do you know that Babylon? Things started in Babylon, that the Ankh started in Babylon. So Babylon, when we were united, we were building great kingdoms. That Tower of Babel, it is our unity. We were united. We were understanding each other until the fallen angel came and they destroyed. They made us to fight against each other. They created different tribes. So most of the things that they said were wrong. You need to relook at them and just pray. That's why most of when I speak, even with Manzambi Zola, says, everything I say, take it to your mother and father, because your mother and father will confirm. Your mother and father is talking about you. Remember, in my heart, it says, I will not steal.
Mm-hmm.
You are the God. So you make a commitment. Nobody is imposing to you, say, thou shalt not steal.
Mm.
You make a commitment as a God. I will not steal.
Mm.
See, they said, thou shalt not.
Yes.
They said this because
Yeah,
it's
somebody is
something,
imposing to you.
yes,
Mhm.
and it's something that they do.
Yeah.
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 But as he stated, the Ma'at says, I will not, or I have not.
Yes.
So
Can
that's
So
we?
they've already done it. They've already stolen, so
yes,
they can't say that.
Everything.
Right.
yes.
Everything.
Still doing it. Yeah.
Now, is there a Mayat Bible that we could get?
The things, the books that are available, like there's one called the Hermit of Toad. The ones that are available on internet, they contain some truth. Even themselves, remember, they've been in their hands. You still need to be
Yeah.
prayerful about them,
Yes.
because they went through their hands. But when you check what is in the Bible, it's actually a copy of what was in Kemet. When you check the prophecy of Thoth, there's about 8 or 6 minutes prophecy of Thoth. If you can listen to that prophecy of Thoth, the things that we're talking about is there, because Thoth is prophesying that the children of Cam, which is us, the Bantus, will forget our spirituality, and evil angels are going to mingle with us until the day where the Most High comes with floods, with a torrential rain, with fire to cleanse the earth. And then peace is going to return to us. If you have a time in YouTube, just Google the prophecy of Thoth and listen to
Toast.
it. You will see what we're talking about.
Is
Can you
that
spell it, Dave?
Spell that.
Toth?
Yeah, Toth. They also changed his name as well. That's a Greek version of the original name. His name was Tehuti in Kemet, but the Greeks, they changed it to Thoth. So use the Greek one, use the Greek name. Remember that they like to change our name. They like to rename us all the time.
So you can Google prophecy of Toth and that'll come out up.
Yeah. Get it on YouTube. There are a couple of them. It's usually 6 minutes, maximum is 10, where you check the prophecy of Thoth. Also, the prophecy that you can check is the prophecy of Nefertiti. Prophecy of Nefertiti is the queen in Egypt, who prophesied that Egypt will be invaded by Asians, but there is going to be a change, because a king will arise from the south and will go and conquer them. Neferti is spelled Neferti.
Ferti.
Can you spell it one more time? I'm sorry. Neferti.
Yeah, just say the prophecy of Neferti is about 4 minutes as well. It's not long. You will see the prophecy, the one of Thoth especially. It's exactly what we're talking about today.
Okay.
Okay, I see the prophecy of Thoth. There's another T there. I see who wrote this.
Yeah, I just put it in the group chat.
Okay.
Thoth.
You said
T-H-O.
T-E?
No, Thoth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I apologize, y'all.
T-H-O-T-H. Okay.
H-O-T-H.
Thoth.
Oh, T-H.
Okay, and then Nefeti, it's not an I, it's a Y. Maybe I made a mistake.
Oh.
There's a Y. Nefeti, prophecy of Nefeti.
Nefety. Okay.
So yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask, going back to the days, because one thing I don't think we covered it. But could you help give me clarity regarding which day is supposed to be the Sabbath day? Because we originally we went to church on Sundays because that was the Sabbath. Then this other religion would say no, it's Saturday. But then that was supposed to come back to Sunday. So can you work that through for me, please?
I do have an Excel here to work out which is the exact day of the Sabbath. The first thing that was revealed to me was what Pope Gregory did in 1582, when Pope Gregory removed about 10 days. When Pope Gregory removed 10 days from a calendar, you remember that the story of Pope Gregory. That's where the Gregorian calendar comes from. He removed 10 days. The 4th of October was followed by the 15th of October, if I'm not mistaken, in that year 1582. What was revealed is that Pope Gregory, when he was explaining why he did that, he said he did that because he wanted March. Something was happening around March. He wanted March to align to one of the Christian holidays. But the exact thing that Pope Gregory was looking for was the 25th of December. He wanted the 25th of December to fall on the soul side. A soul side is one of the top spiritual days. It's when the seasons are changing. So from that change, when you follow that change and you follow the full moons using Excel, when you follow remember, one thing that they cannot forge is the full moons, the days of the moon. They cannot change that. When you follow the full moons, it proves beyond reasonable doubt that Sunday is actually Sabbath. In other words, from sunrise on a Sabbath, on a Sunday, that's the beginning of a Sabbath, the true Sabbath.
Wow.
All right.
It's hard, I know. But the Excel is available. I did send it out to Nzambi. You did receive it?
I did. I have that, yeah.
Yeah, it just needs you to you remember, when you Google full moons, they cannot forge full moons. And you work with that Excel, you'll realize the full moons are always corresponding with the Enoch days, with the 364. They never correspond with the 365 and a quarter. And those full moons, working from Christmas being the soul side, shows you that Sunday, it is the actual Sabbath. It's the 7th day of the week.
Okay, so therefore, with them giving names to the days is what actually made what they're saying credible, because the way I was able to receive and accept that as it being the case is because when you say Sabbath, then in English you say Saturday, in French you say samedi, in German you'd be like Samstag, so that's sa, pretty much lines up with the Sabbath. So therefore, that's kind of gives credence to Saturday being the day, but that's them just naming the days to sort of throw us off and get us to be accepting.
Yes, because what they did is, for example, the Roman Catholic Church, they have the entire truth. The example I like to make is that the truth, let's say truths are 10. What they did, they took one truth, they give it to the charismatic Christian, and then they gave them a lot of lies. Then they take another truth, they give it to the Seventh-day Adventist, and they give them a lot of lies. So in one of your awakening, if you believe, oh, we need to honor the Sabbath, then you join the seventh day. But when you go there, you are actually misled as well, because the 7th day is the wrong day anyway, and they make you start the day at sunset as well. So even, that when I was leaving Christianity, when I was starting to search, the religion that I nearly joined was Buddha, Buddhism, because they gave them peace. When you check their teachings, it's like it's peaceful. So, but during the time of warfare, at some point you have to take your arms. So, the Buddhism is one religion that they gave peace. That's why I was more associated when I was living Christianity. I nearly joined Buddhism. Then you go to Islam. They gave them the truth as well. They believe in the one creator, and that's truth. You go to Jehovah's Witness. The Jehovah's Witness, they gave them the truth that the son, the first son, is Archangel Michael, and they have that truth.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. All right. Anyone else? Any more questions about what we've discussed? What your ears have heard?
So it's interesting that we have a lot of our people that have awakened into the Hebrew Israelites isms, and they're celebrating their Samba on Saturday, which is wrong.
Yeah, and remember that they have not gotten the truth. The only challenge that happens is that when the truth is presented to you, you don't go to your mother and father and verify. That's where the problem is, because the Most High, there are three things that the Most High will struggle to do during this awakening: is to save a proud person. A proud person is someone who's not teachable. And verification of truth must only happen with your mother and father, because there are many things that are coming out. So anything that you believe, you must believe it from within. So me as Jabulani, you must take me as first hearing. You don't believe on what Jabulani say. You must believe on second hearing. Second hearing means you must hear your mother and your father within you, because there are so many things that will come up with. They can take you all over this place. So if you just believe because something sounds right, you are going to be misled. That's why you need to put in effort. You need to work on it. You need to pray. You need okay, we'll use those words that we don't like to use, but you need to interact with your mother and father to verify certain truth. Remember the first meeting that we had, where when I said, we as the Bantu, we need to rebuild the Tower of Babel. Imagine when I say that to a person who's just come out of Christianity.
Ooh.
You know.
Oh yeah. They'll be
But
ready
if
to
you
crucify
understand
you
from
like
where I
this.
was saying
Yes,
that,
we will.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
the Tower of Babel, there was unity. That's
it
what you
was
were saying.
unity. Yes, yes. It
Uh-huh.
was unity. We're understanding each other. And if you believe the Tower of Babel was literal, bricks, mortar, then in other words, your mind is still affected. Remember, the sorcery affects the mind. So then you say, then the children of Ham were running up the tower, shooting arrows into heaven. Like imagine, let's say it was in the Sudan. Where would you build such a high thing, and where would you shoot those arrows? So our mind, they messed up with our minds.
They did. They really did. I just shared with someone yesterday that our culture was not stolen. It was actually snatched away from us. It wasn't stolen. It was snatched away. We never knew it. Now, see, our Nkulus, our ancestors, whom they brought over from the continent, they knew the culture. And what they did to them was they beat it out of them, that they couldn't keep it. But it was the descendants from them who never knew it.
Yeah.
So it was snatched away from us. It wasn't stolen. it was snatched away. So this is why it is important for us. We're talking about reconnecting with our Nkulus. We have to learn the culture. And that's why, I'm on it. I want to know my culture. And I'm going to take it, grab it, hold on to it, and apply it every day for the rest of my life. And I'm going to teach it to our son.
That's great declaration. Just to add on the Tower of Babel,
Yes.
remember that the fallen angels, I see here V. Williams has written something interesting, that we were tricked into thinking the Babel and Nimrod are something to despise. That actually, when you go to there is what is called prophecy of 10 weeks in the book of Enoch. There is a plant of righteous judgment in the prophecy of 10 weeks. That plant of righteous judgment is Nimrod. So they always come and they make your people who are heroes. They demonize them. That's why if you read the book of Joshua, you need to be spiritually matured, because that book is very dangerous. You can read it and get the truth, but you need to be alert. Because in isiZulu, Babela means they were here. When you add an A after the L, Babela, they were here. Where were they? They were in unity. They were talking one language. They were building together. They were not fighting amongst themselves. What is wrong with building together, understanding each other, and building and expanding? We're not fighting. There was no bloodshed. Remember, the Most High, what he doesn't want? Bloodshed. So if we're building in unity, what was the issue?
Well, they say we were building to go up to heaven to get what the Most High was. So
imagine that. Reason that out. Where is heaven? Let's say the Tower of Babel was in where Sudan is. Let's say we're going to heaven. Where were we going? To that dome.
Exactly. That will make. I mean, I feel like an idiot, really, right now, because you're just gullibly accepting, some declaration of that sort. But okay.
Remember, we didn't know any better. Like he said, we were shown through movies that he was shooting arrows up into the sky. Really? We believed it.
I saw flipping up like it was.
So as a clarification, Elder, should we say that Nimrod they demonized him, or am I understanding that correctly?
Nimrod is our hero. Nimrod fought them.
See, Nimrod fighting for the longest.
What?
Nimrod fought them. If you go to Book of Enoch, the prophecy of 10 weeks. If the prophecy of 10 weeks, it says there's a plant of righteous judgment. That plant of righteous judgment is Enoch when he was fighting with the fallen angels. Then next thing, it will say there was a plant of righteousness. The plant of righteousness is Abraham, the one they call Abraham. Nimrod did not bring pagan religion. Let me tell you one thing. These people, they like to come and bring something, and then next thing they say somebody else has brought it. Here in South Africa, they came, they stole the land, and then they said Akafer steal. Akafer steal is their Dutch language saying a kafir steals. Do you understand? They are the ones who are busy stealing. So even with Nimrod, check what they did with Shalazu. They always paint our heroes so that you look at them with a bad light.
Yeah.
Nimrod did not build the Tower of Babel. Nimrod made the Bantus to work in unity, and he was expanding.
Wow.
Wow.
I told you.
See, that's
all this. It was snatched away from us. It was snatched away. So
right.
What?
Hey.
I'm done.
Like we just have to be careful. That's why they said their strategy, they make us to insult the Most High, make us to insult our ancestors, make us to insult ourselves. So if
Yes.
you
Yes.
speak negatively against your ancestors, how are you going to call them up for them to defend you now? You are not going to be, because you are insulting them. Even sometimes insulting the Most High, telling people that the Most High told Abraham to burn Isaac. Like, even though you are not aware that you are insulting the Most High, but it hurts him. You know, it hurts him that you will believe he's having such a characteristic.
That's what I'm apologizing to do. Because
if we were still in Christianity and I was still in the ministry and I started saying to them that Nimrod is our hero,
They'll run you out the church, man. They'll get you out of there so fast.
They will lay hands on you.
Get stoned.
What they usually do as well. The people that are dangerous that in the Bible, they don't write much about them. Check who's dangerous in the Bible. Melchizedek. They don't write much about Melchizedek. They will just tell you Melchizedek showed up and went. That's it. Short verse. Nimrod. They tell you Nimrod was a mighty, actually is mighty warrior before Soninani, not mighty hunter per se. Mighty warrior, because he was fighting them.
Mhm.
Then Enoch as well. They tell you Enoch walked with God, he was no more. These three, they are very dangerous and they don't say much about
Wow. Oh my God.
Can I just ask something? There's one of the books that they removed from the Bible that tells the story of, I think it was Nimrod wanting to kill Abram, if I remember it correctly.
Joshua,
Mhm.
So that means that story was a fake. They twisted up that one as well.
It's a lie. The first time I connected with your team, the first thing that I shared in this with this group is Joshua 23, where they talk about the very aged man, and then there's a God at the top of the mountain who's with Abraham. I told you that if you are spiritually sensitive, your God is at the bottom. He's contrite of heart, he's humble, and he's giving you an eternal law, telling you do not kill, telling you don't allow yourself to be killed. The God on the mountain is saying to that particular Abraham, kill. To that particular Isaac, allow yourself to be killed. That is not our God, that's Satan.
Yeah.
So the book of Joshua is dangerous, but you can read it if you know, like that you read it prayerfully, going to your mother and father for verification of things. The story about Nimrod bringing pagan religion is a false. It's them who brought paganism, not our melinated people. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, there is a lot to unfold. But you know, I love, you have been saying this, Yaya, ever since I met you. You have always said, ask your mother and father and allow them to reveal it to you. You know, this has been dropping bombs everywhere. It really has. And I've seen some faces on here, you know, with eyes popping out and mouths open like, huh? You know, but we have to remember, we are dealing with entities who are nothing but liars. And as long as they can keep us separated from our true selves, they're going to feed us anything. I often refer back to this in scripture, in Bible, I hate to call it scripture because it's so messed up, but passages. Let me use that terminology. I often refer back to this passage when Balaam said, we have to get them to curse themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly what's been going on.
Been cursing ourselves.
We're cursing ourselves. Yes. And how are we cursing ourselves? By holding true to what we read in the Bible and believing that's it.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Now, 2 Timothy, 2nd chapter, verse 15, it tells us, study to show thyself
yourself
approved.
approved. Mm-hmm.
Okay? So when you study, that means you research. And I've often said that when we're in school, mainly in college, when you're working for that degree, you have to do research. You can't plagiarize. You have to do your own research and present, what you found. This is the only way you're going to know something for fact. So this is how we have to do with the Bible. We can't just take the Bible and say, I studied. We got to go to other resources.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, Elder, and I call him Yahya as well, he has broken this down. Where we thought one thing of Nimrod, he showed us a whole different scenario. And I know exactly what you're talking about, Mama Nicholas, because I would even refer to that scripture when I say how when Nimrod learned that Abraham was born, and he said that he wanted the child. He told Terah, bring the child to me. And they got the maid's son. And he slammed that baby into the ground. And then to find out later that Terah didn't bring to him his son. So what did he do? It gave us the same scenario about the 3 Hebrew boys. It's that he cast Abraham and his brother Haran into the fiery furnace. Haran died in the furnace, but Abraham was walking around in the furnace. So, I mean,
the impression that they gave of Nimrod, especially when I was in Christianity, that he was some type of a beast walking around, just evil, wicked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Queen V, she put she made an excellent point in the comment. She said Nimrod had a leopard skin, which is our symbol of royalty and power.
That's right.
That's true though, but the way they would justify that is that he stole that from Adam, which gave him the power and authority. So yeah, he got it, but he was using it, inappropriately. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And these people I need boxing gloves.
You know what? Exactly what you're saying. The South Americans, remember what the South Americans said? There's a lady called Redirecting. I think it's I've forgotten her name, but she said the South American natives, when these Mundeles came, they said these people, they've got a vertigo. They are suffering from vertigo. They do a thing, and then they say somebody else has done it. So if they stole, they say somebody else has stolen. They will beat you, and then they will say, why are you beating me? While they are the ones who are beating you. So even with this story of Shaga, they've made him very cruel, saying that he opened a pregnant woman just to see how a baby is sitting. So they will make our people as if they were barbaric. while it is them who were barbaric.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Elder, I've heard of stories where King Shaka was forcing his own warriors to jump over cliffs if they didn't do what he wanted them to do, which I think would be lies.
If it's, you know, sometimes if it's exaggerated, you just have to put yourself in Shaka. Let me tell you, Shaka, just to tell you what is going to happen to the Bantus. I'm revealing to you what is going to happen to the Bantus.
Okay.
Our mother is Zulu. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Our father is Congo. The child is Ka. And the child is made from Africa. The child is African. Shaka Zulu, he knew what the angels were doing. He tried to unite the tribes by persuasion or force. That's how a warrior works. Everyone, what was Shaka uniting people towards? We are all children of the sky. We are the children of Zulu. We are Zulus. So Shaka Zulu was trying to make us as Bantus to unite so that we can be able to defeat the invading enemy. That's why Shaka Zulu, when he died, he prophesied they will take over the land.
Mm.
Why did he prophesy they will take over? Because Shaka Zulu was not a normal person. He was a priest. He was trying to reunite us. You read 2 Chronicles, verse 7, chapter 7, verse 14 says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and purpose to seek my face, then I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. So the question is, because we're coming from a masculine world, we think, okay, maybe it's Tata speaking, but we are the seed of the woman. What if it's the mother speaking? The mother is Zulu. If Amazulu, if the Zulus, do you know, you are called by your mother's name, we are the seed of the woman. Even if we are saying it's Tata who's speaking, if Bakongo, who are called by my name, even if it's the child speaking, if Africans who are called by my name. So these are the 3 identities that we should operate with. We are Zulus, we are Bakongo, we are Africans. That's it, nothing else. And Shaka was trying to link us together with our mother so that we can fight this invading enemy.
Mm. And there are so many that don't want to unite.
Mm.
Yeah, they want to be Indian, the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Mm.
If only they could understand, recognize the enemy, and we come together, we can and we will defeat the enemy.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
they don't want to unite.
Nope, they want to be white. Everybody with the same skin ain't kin.
Wow.
Got that
That's right.
Yeah.
Ah.
And you know, I get so frustrated, and so many of our people in the diaspora walking around saying, I'm not African. I
Mhm.
wasn't born in Africa.
Yeah.
Like it's such a thrill or such a
Badge of
honor to be here.
Yeah. Ugh. I can't wait to get out of this
Me either.
cursed land.
And that it is.
You know the scary thing about what is happening. It's 2 Esdras. You know 2 Esdras. There are so many scriptures saying, "I will defend my people who will be found within my holy border." If we are going to define a wrong holy border, and now there's an execution now, the final execution, and you are in a wrong border. So we have to understand you are going to be in trouble. If you are righteous, then you are going to be an ancestor. Then you are going to come back again as a child. That's a thing. If you define that Mississippi River is actually the real Nile River, then you're in trouble, I'm telling you. Because you will misdefine the holy border.
Oh, they're saying Egypt is in the real Egypt is here in America.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Abraham in verse 18, he went up and he went down. In other words, he was in Mexico, or he went down to South America. I don't know. I don't understand.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yes. Well, we have some decreeing and declaring to do.
I do. Humble pies.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, on that note, Elder Jabulani, what was Nimrod's proper name? Because I just want to know the proper name, because at this point I have a little groveling to do. So if I could just know that, I don't know that it's Nimrod. So what would it have been if you know?
The name of Nimrod, I don't know. I think there is Kephas. He shared something saying, somebody was saying Nimukongo. Then I heard that Nimukongo is actually Noah. So I don't know the real name of Nimrod. But there is something that was shared by Kephas. I don't remember what was the exact name. But on my site, many of the names, I don't know the exact ones. The ones that you can figure out, like the one of Enoch, like by doing reverse, I can tell who was Enoch, the original name, because certain things you have to use A, and you have to remove the C and put the K, and most of the time the H you have to remove, and then other names you find that if you flip it you get the correct name. So Enoch name is the one that when you work around it, you can see it was Anak. And when you flip it, you can see it was Kana. And remember the Ka, it's spirit. And the Na is the child or the mother. And in Africa, sometimes we say Ma or Mama. It means one and the same thing, Na or Nana. So when you go with the name of Enoch, for example, it was Anak. Then if you flip it, it's Kana. When you check it, when you use, you know that the K is the spirit, the N is the child. And you know that the N, the NA, you can have Nana. So it's Kanana. That's why their main target was Kanana.
Click, didn't it?
Wow, it clicked. Canaan.
Kanana. So that's why they wanted
Kanana.
genocide on Canaanites.
Okay, well, I'll use
Yes.
I'll just use the name Nimrod, because they'll know, I guess, when I'm petitioning who I'm referring to. So
Yes, yeah. For now, like we don't have to worry so much about the names, but if you find the correct one and it makes the conversation to flow. You know, sometimes the conversation might not flow if you use the correct name, because you'll confuse people who are just coming out of Christianity. For example, in my beginning of awakening, I didn't like to use the word Jesus. But now when you are teaching to people, you might time and again have to use that name, knowing that a person is just coming from Christianity. So it will cause a lot of confusion to explain minor things for now. Because the major thing that we have to explain to people is the name of our Father, meaning the reputation. So for me, I will work with somebody who believes that Nani no Tata Nzambi is Yahweh. If that particular person believes that he never spoke to Abraham to Ben Isaac. Because somebody can say the Most High is Sonin Nanin, but they believe he has spoken to Abraham to Ben Isaac. So for me, that person, even though they are calling him by a beautiful name, but the fact that they don't know their reputation, that will turn me off. So that's why in some people are just coming out of Christianity. So these names we have to use, like even Michael, Angel Michael. You know that is Makaya, is Angel Makaya Congo. So, but if you're speaking like that to a person, they won't know who we are talking about. So you better use until, when we're settled now, we start to, then the minor things like Jesus, no, Jesus actually it was this wrong name. Let's put the right one. That for now at this time, we will use the name Nimrod until we find the correct. But remember, the Vatican, they've got our correct names. They know they're laughing at us sometimes, but they do get the correct name. We will get them. We're going to get the correct names.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Matondo, yeah. This has truly been beautiful, eye-opening, and I thank you. I thank you for being willing to do this at such a short notice. I truly, truly appreciate you, and I thank you.
My pleasure.
Oh, it's in the chat here. Wow. So we are the children of Kanana.
Correct.
She said that's why their story is always about conquering the land of Canaan, the promised land, the land their false god supposedly promised them.
Powerful, actually, because if we use the correct, it says a pleasant land. You know that Canaan got the best and biggest land. If you ask yourself, why did Canaan get the best land? Check what the Most High first commandment was to the people. Be fruitful and multiply. Check all of the grandchildren of Noah. Who had the largest number of people? Who respected that first commandment? It was Canaan.
Oh.
Check Melchizedek. Isn't Melchizedek a Canaanite? Then now they try to change. They say Melchizedek, the same as Shem. And then in Joshua verse 10, then they say Joshua entered the land of then he killed Adonizek, which is Melchizedek. Then it's a confusion. So actually Canaan, even in South Africa, the areas are still written Canaan. There are certain areas where they left the name Canaan.
Yeah, we definitely got to have you back. He's breaking it down. He's breaking it down. I love it. I love it. This is what we need.
So is Canaan, I know they talk, Canaan is not Bantus, right?
Canaan is Bantu. Remember they use code names. Like now we are talking about Nimrod. Canaan it's a code name for Africa. If you say Canaanites, it's actually Africans. If you read Ezekiel 16 verse 3, it says your mother was a Hittite, your father was an Amoritite. You are from the land of Canaan. But that scripture is minority. People, they preach majority scriptures, everybody who's going to follow. Why are we not, when you can see in Ezekiel 16, it says, your mother was a Hittite. And if you check the Hittite language, do you know that the Hittite language is close to the Zulu language? There's Credo Mutwa. But now in Google, when you go and check these things, they change these things as we discover the truth. The language of Hittites is the same as Zulu. And when you check, the first person they say they were going to attack is the mother, which is the Hittites. Then the next is the father, which is the Amoritite. The Hittites, it's a code name for Zulu. The Amoritite is the code name for Congo. Canaan is the code name for Africa.
What?
You know what?
Wow.
They're using code that they're hiding things in plain sight. Remember as well, what they did. They said they've entered the land of Canaan, and then they were conquering the Canaanites. They were trying to kill the Canaanites They couldn't finish killing off the Canaanites. And then they asked their God to hold the sun. And then they held the sun, their God held the sun, and they were stabbing the Canaanites. But they still could not finish off the Canaanites, and they lived amongst them, and they were killing them little by little. Isn't it what they are doing to us as Africans?
Yes.
In 1616, they said Galileo saw the sun, that the earth is spinning, the sun is stationary. In 1616, that is around the same age when the slave trade was starting. 1616. If you can check, when did Galileo said that the earth is spinning and the sun is stationary? It's the year 1616. What was happening in the year 1616? In Germany, there was a lot of problems because there was hunger stones. You know that hunger stones appeared in 1616 for the first time. Europe was struggling because for them, they are working with profit. So they were consuming almost everything. So they came. Do you get what I'm saying? So they came and they conquered us, and they started to give us false things like the earth is spinning and things like that, while they are staying with us and killing us little by little and mixing their cursed seed with our seed.
So the way they have broken up the continent into so many different countries now, the idea, Phil, the idea of us being united, it was better to separate us so that, well, here's my question. Are we thinking that we are Bantus while the rest of the world of Africa is Bantu as well?
Okay, let me
Are
just
we
break
all
it
the
down
same?
here. The Bantus, everyone that is born of Adam is Bantu. But the children of Abraham, they were chosen to get the covenant, to spread it amongst everyone. In the book of Enoch, Gentiles, which is Bantus, are the elect ones. The children of Abraham are the righteous ones. Just to separate them, because the covenant was given to Abraham. For what? To distribute it amongst all the Adamic race. Understand? So the Most High will not create people and the next thing he wants them eliminated. Why would he do that? This thing of Shemites, Hamites, Japhethite, it doesn't work. It doesn't help anything. We are children of Adam. We are children of Noah.
So even that caused the division.
Division, yes. If you can hear when an African is speaking against what the Hebrew Israelites are doing in the street, then they say, look at the Hamite. Look at the Hamite. It's like now to be a Hamite is to be a curse. And Cam, Egypt is Hamite. And where do you find the greatest civilization? You find it in Kemet. Who is Egypt? Egypt is Hamite. So these divisions don't help us with anything.
They sure don't. And that has bothered me.
So Elder, is it safe to say we really are the same people?
We are the same people. We mixed. If you can check, if you can read the prophecies of animals in the book of Enoch, it will tell you we've got Japheth's blood, we've got Ham's blood, we've got Shem's blood. Remember, it was 3 brothers who were there. So when the children were born, you cannot marry within your own. You had to cross, you had to cross. We all had, we have the blood of all of them. We've got the blood of Japheth, we've got the blood of Ham, we've got the blood of
Japheth.
Of the other one. Even those names are not the correct name, but anyway, we just don't have to emphasize this thing of Shemites, Hamite, Japhethite. It takes us nowhere. That's why I emphasize this thing, saying even the fallen angels were chosen. The question is, are you choosing your mother and your father? You cannot walk around and say, I'm the chosen, but have you chosen your mother and father, you yourself?
So when you say, have you chosen your mother and your father, that means Nzambi and Mama Dombe? Or does that mean your earthly mother and father? Oh, it cut off.
Queen Brenda, you were cutting.
Yeah, it's cut off.
Didn't hear you.
I didn't hear you.
Queen Brenda, you are cutting. I didn't hear.
I think she, you want to try it?
Nzambi Zola, did you hear the question? I didn't get it.
My phone is cutting in and out.
Okay, I can hear you, Queen Brenda. I'll try it again. What was your question again?
Now I forgot.
It has something to do with whether by choosing our mother and father.
Yes.
Is it related to Tata Nzambi and Mama Nzambi?
Yes.
Or your earthly mother and father.
Right. Yeah.
Which is it?
Or the earthly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that was my question.
Remember in Congo as well. Or you're saying when I saying
you choose your parents.
Mama Ndombe, and when I say mother and father.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm talking about the feminine and masculine. And in Congo, the feminine is Mama Ndombe, the masculine is Tata Nzambi.
Okay.
So in other parts of what can I say? Like in Kemet, you'll find other names that are used for the mother and for the father, but the creator is one. In other words, it's one creator with both the feminine and the masculine. According to Christianity, our mother is wisdom. In other words, within the creator is wisdom. Wisdom is the mother. We are children of wisdom. But wisdom is together with the masculine, our father. So that's why to explain it, I cannot ever claim that I can be able to define the creator. Even in the book that I wrote, I write that the creator is indescribable. But one thing that we have to know, there's feminine energy and there's masculine energy. Other cultures, they define the name of the masculine energy, Mama Ndombe, Tata Nzambi, the masculine. The sun represents the masculine energy, the moon represents the feminine, but is one creator.
Oh, I get it. It's like he has already chosen us, but we have to choose him. Like him and the masculine and the feminine, because people that choose whatever other religion they have, that is not choosing the true creator.
Correct. Yes. So in other words, yeah, that's what I'm actually saying. Don't be proud that you are chosen. At least be satisfied that you have re-chosen your mother and father.
Yes.
You are choosing to live by Mahat. You know, Mahat, if you look at it, it's your mother and your father who are in balance. So if you live by Mahat, you live a balanced life.
Okay. Because I've heard people say you choose your parents. And so that makes sense right there.
Yes. Yeah, you're choosing your parents actually because they chose you already. When you need to choose them back.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
So Elder, if we say that we're all Bantus are from Adam, then what would be a word for the chosen? Instead of all righteous, and then there's a chosen covenant, what would be the proper word for them?
For those who are chosen?
Yes.
Like if we use Ezekiel 16:16, yep. we're people of Canaan, we're children of Canaan.
Canaan. Okay.
If you use Ezekiel 16, remember the correct one is what? We are Zulus, we're children of Zulu. We're children of heaven. That's the name. Remember, the ones that are in the Bible are code names, are not the real names. Like you rather call yourself Zulu. When they ask you, who are you? I am Zulu. Why? Who's Zulu? Zulu is my mother. I am from heaven. Or you can say, I am Bakongo. Who is Bakongo? Congo means truth. I am the child of truth. Or you can call yourself African. African means I am dust with the spirit.
And they're all significant.
They are
Yeah.
all significant.
Wow.
Those three, that's what we need to operate with.
I am dust with the spirit. I like that.
and we fit all three. So we can go
Yes.
with either one.
With either one,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But we
Hmm.
need to avoid all the others, like, because those are dividing us. The Kukuyu or Ndebele, things like that. No, those are additional. We do what Shaka wanted to do. We are all Zulus, or we're Congo, or we're Africans. That's it.
Yes.
Mm.
And so the one thing, Queen V had mentioned this, and this is something too that I had been saying for some time. The Mzungus are all about division, separating. And this is why, we see in the Bible, as Elder had mentioned it earlier, you see Hittites, Amorites, Girgashites, you see all this is separating, and this is why we had this divisions, the borders on the continent, because they're separating. Portugal, you get this, Britain, you get this. They're separating. But we were never like that. Never. We were one.
Yeah.
And that's where we have to get back to. Okay.
When Abraham had an issue in the south, he went up to Egypt. He went down to Egypt. And when there was a problem in Egypt, the people in Egypt, they went up to Upper Egypt. So we'll always, when there's drought this side, we will run to the other side, and we will live together in harmony.
And I love what Queen V, she put in here. She's quiet. She be typing away though. She said exactly. The only way to understand who we are is to deliver your mind from the biblical names, Shem, okay, etc., and from the other names, Nilotic, Hamite,
Yes.
etc.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, we're one.
Because they divided up and named the different countries.
Yes.
We were never divided up. We're all one.
Exactly.
And that causes people to think, well, I'm Nigerian. I'm not so-and-so. Well, I'm just like here. Just like here. And just like in Cape Town, I noticed that, you have the coloreds, you have the blacks, and you have the whites. And that's all division. And you can see the divisiveness of that. The way they live.
Yeah.
Each group.
And then they took it even further. Even in the diaspora, what the Mundele did in slavery, where they divided us up against each other based on skin tone.
Skin color. A brown bag.
Yeah.
Test.
Put the darkest ones in the field. Then if you're lighter, you can get closer to the master and work around the plantation house and in the house. It just
a mess.
And with that division, it brings about animosity. It brings about hate. It brings about anger. And then, you be wanting to kill each other.
Yeah.
So this is why we have to set our minds free from that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hold our elder, much longer, because I know it's late over there, as well as it is, with our brother.
Seychelles crew.
So yeah. But this is, again, has truly been powerful. And Elder, please consider about coming back to share more, really to just expound on some things, like maybe the Nimrod, or some of those things that we learned in Christianity, but we just realize that it is flipped, to perhaps just expound on some of those things. We would greatly appreciate that. And to everyone else, we are going to come back with part 2 with N.T. Ngon, Elder Jabulani, Mama Brenda, where we were talking about the who sold slaves in the transatlantic slave trade. We are going to come back with part 2, so stay tuned for that. And I also said that we're going to talk about who sold slaves in the other slave trade, the Arabic slave trade. And one of the people that was really significant in that slave trade, his name is Tippy Tip. And over on where was that we went to? I can't think of the island when we were in Dar es Salaam.
Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. Thank you. Yes, sir. We went to Zanzibar and did a tour there and saw the tomb site of Tippy Tip. And I tell you, that guy, his tomb where he is trash, because of the a number of slaves and how he was, during that slave trade. He was number 1 in selling slaves, and they didn't take care of his tomb. So it is trash, but I will be presenting that as well, and just letting our people know we have gone all over and we have not forgotten about you. We're one. We're brothers and sisters, and we will be back on the continent together, working together.
Yes.
So be encouraged, and let's look to the future, because the future is bright. It is bright. Okay. So again, Yaya Matondo Masaka. This was powerful.
It's my pleasure. It was nice discussions. Yeah. This the whole thing is happening. Everything is heating up left, right, and center. I hope your bags are ready. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So we're looking forward to this again, and I will be talking with you soon. And everyone else, Matondo Masaka.
Matondo.
May Tata Nzambi, hallelujah. May Tata Nzambi cover you, increase you, and may he guide you, and may your elevated Nkulus speak and guide you and direct you into more truth. All right. And I want to thank our Tata Nzambi, Mama Ndombe, the 7 archangels, 24 elders of the kingdom of Zulu, and our elevated Nkulus of the light, for being with us, for speaking to us, speaking through us, enlightening us, and allowing us to receive the word of truth. Hallelujah. Love you all, and y'all be increased. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Basseh.